Who is Caroline Polachek? You might have thought that going through the Charlie XCX Brat Remix album, or when she was trending a few times on TikTok, or when her Tiny Desk went viral. Mind you, all of these went viral for her unique sound and those amazing, almost alien-like vocals. Well, let's start from the front. Born all the way back in 1985 in Manhattan, but moving to Japan really early on until she was 6 years old. A scholar in Chinese history and being classically trained in music. She started her musical career really early on in her life, going to choir in just 3rd grade and getting gifted synthesizer player by her father to dissuade her from being disruptive. Her interest in music wasn't going to stop anywhere. She was exposed to traditional Japanese and anime-themed music a lot, which had some influence on her musical education. In her teenage years, she was starting to attend concerts in New York with a fake ID. She even got walked into the concerts by a few artists when her cover blew up. After high school, she first attended the University of Colorado, where she met Aaron Fenning. Together, they founded the synth-pop band Chairlift. They achieved quite some commercial success as being a part of an ad for the 4th gen AirPod Nano, and even getting nominated for an award at the MTVs. Also, signing to Columbia Records not long after their debut album. They continued their career as a band till 2016. The band offered a lot of development for Caroline, but she still decided to pursue a solo career in 2017. Before the breakup, she dropped her first self-produced solo record, Arcadia, under the name Ramona Lisa. I'm glad she didn't keep that name. Between the years 2013 and 2015. This album was heavily inspired by her artistic residence at the Villa Medici in Rome, Italy. Quote unquote, when I was looking out that window in Rome, I wanted this type of music to feel as organic as what I'm seeing. I don't think any of the tools I'm using are particularly new. A lot of MIDI instruments have been around for 15 years, but the composition makes them sound less electronic. For the creation of this album, she did everything in her power to express her creative freedom. She utilized the microphone of her Mac to record anything that she found fitting for the album, using everything at her disposal to create the sounds she wants. Mind you, this album was produced without the use of an instrument or an external microphone. Shortly after the breakup, she released her second solo album, Drawing the Target Around the Arrow, a very experimental, almost ambient sounding album. She was slated to perform at the MOOCFest 2018, but ultimately chose not to, mentioning her concerns over the festival's lack of inclusivity. Specifically, she felt it was irresponsible for the event to feature an all-male lineup, failing to take necessary steps towards normalizing diversity. Till 2019, not much is going on since she rarely drops music. This due to her always wanting to drop the perfect project. She once stated in an interview that she's really perfectionistic, which results in her struggling to release new music frequently. She admires artists that can release on an annual basis. But she was starting the rollout of her next body of work, which has a very different sound than the rest of her albums. It's closer to hyperpop than that ambient organic sound. A majority of the album can still be considered alt or synth pop. The first single of the album was Door, showcasing her unique vocal range, singing style, and her artistic lyricism, which I'm a big fan of. The whole album is a deeply intimate exploration of self-discovery and love. Primarily self-produced, the record showcases Caroline's ability to genre bend and combine experimental, harsh sounds with ethereal sounds, and how she utilizes her voice to act as an instrument, creating a lush atmospheric landscape of self-expression and art. The album was also highly critically acclaimed for its unique sound. This wasn't the best of her yet. She released another 8 singles for the rollout of the deluxe version of Desire I Want to Turn Into You, Bunny as a Writer being the first one. It managed to achieve first place on Pitchfork's Best Songs of 2021. To add to that, the normal version of Desire, released in 2023, was again very critically acclaimed. She went to make the deluxe songs during her Spiraling tour in 2023. You can think of Desire as the better, more refined version of Pain. Calling it a good album would be an understatement. And what it just went through were only songs and albums she put out herself. She also worked with other big artists in the music industry. In 2013, she worked with Blood Orange on the song Chamikai, it's pronounced I believe. Shortly after, in 2014, she co-wrote and produced No Angels by Beyonce, one of my favorite Beyonce songs of all time. When you pay attention, you can really hear out Caroline's style, especially with the composition of the song. A newer example would be her working with a few artists from the label PC Music, big names like A.G. Cook and Charlie XCX, just to name a few. Tell me down in the comments what you think about Caroline Polachek, and if you think she'll continue releasing music like this. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.